We've all seen those dramatic nature documentaries where a cobra strikes with lightning speed and the narrator breathlessly declares it faster than the human eye can follow. Well, plot twist. Snakes might be impressive, but they're basically the dial-up internet of the animal kingdom. When it comes to actual speed, a cobra's strike clocks in at about 8 miles per hour, which sounds terrifying until you realize that your average house cat can swat at a laser pointer at 30 miles per hour. While simultaneously judging your life choices, let's put this into perspective, shall we? A hummingbird can attack at speeds reaching 60 miles per hour, making cobras look like they're moving through molasses wearing cement boots. Even a common pigeon, yes, the flying rats that steal your lunch, can dive at 90 miles per hour, which means they could theoretically win a race against a striking snake while carrying a bagel in their beak. But perhaps the most embarrassing comparison is the humble shrew, a tiny mammal that looks like a mouse that went through a particularly stressful divorce. These hyperactive furballs can strike at their prey faster than most snakes, despite weighing less than a handful of marshmallows and having the attention span of a caffeinated toddler. Mongooses, those snake-battling legends, can dodge and counterattack at speeds that make cobras look like they re-performing interpretive dance in slow motion. A mongoose can move at 20 miles per hour in short bursts, which doesn't sound like much. Until you consider that they basically furry ninjas with an attitude problem and a personal vendetta against anything that's even chameleons, despite being famous for moving slower than continental drift, can shoot their tongues out at 30 miles per hour. Still faster than many snake strikes. And they're redoing it while looking in 2 different directions and wearing what essentially amounts to natural camouflage pajamas. Here's where snakes had their collective eureka moment and decided to level up their game. Some species figured out that if you can't be faster, you might as well be sneakier, which is how we ended up with spitting cobras. Nature. Version of upgrading from a water gun to a super soaker filled with liquid regret. These chemical warfare specialists can launch venom up to 8 feet away with the accuracy of a trained marksman having the best day of their life. Imagine being a mongoose, confidently strutting up to what you think is going to be another easy snake encounter, only to get a face full of venom from 6 feet away. It's like showing up to a sword fight and discovering your opponent brought a rocket launcher. The spitting cobra essentially turned the tables on the whole speed game by making distance irrelevant. Why bother with lightning-fast strikes when you can just hose down your problems from across the room? These snakes can spit with such precision that they specifically aim for the eyes because apparently regular venom was undramatic enough. They had to go for the full surprise blindness experience. It's biological warfare meets performance art, and the results are both terrifying and oddly impressive. What makes this even more ridiculous is that spitting cobras do UNT just randomly spray and pray, like someone using a garden hose during a spider emergency. They actually adjust their aim based on their target's movement, essentially turning every encounter into the world's most dangerous game of paintball. They've calculated angles, and windage while their prey is still figuring out whether that rustling sound was a snake or just a particularly aggressive tumbleweed. The evolutionary arms race between predator and prey has basically turned into nature's version of rock, paper, scissors. Except it's more like speed, venom, agility. Fast animals thought they had snakes figured out. Then venomous spit entered the chat and changed the entire rulebook. Meanwhile, the rest of us are just here trying not to think about the fact that somewhere out there, snakes are probably working on their next upgrade. Possibly laser vision or the ability to order takeout directly to your location.